Hi friends, I thought I would give you a really good view this time for our kickoff to our July Max resupply box. So this cow is adorable, and that is obviously from my Max resupply box. Come on in, get comfy, and let's get crafty. She is brown and white. And she has really cute sunflowers here. Her ear tag has a little saying on it over here. So I'm gonna put my bow up in this area and she's just gonna have one ear. I don't wanna take up her nose. I don't wanna take up her sunflowers. I love those. So we're gonna go over in this area and she'll have the one ear. It'll take up most of this and it'll kind of go up off of the cow, actually. So I'll just hold it up. This kind of pulls this sign in its direction, this weight hanging off. Then if I add my entire design, it's also going to pull in that direction. So I need to go further this way to pull it back a little bit more right now, because in the long run it will level out. So I'm going to kind of go in this crease here, and that is why. Hope I have some felt over here. Here we go. We do. Okay. The one thing I didn't pull was my felt, and I do put that on the back even though, because I don't want to ruin my piece. I do 3 pieces on signs, on door hangers. It's always worked out for me, so I just keep doing 3 pieces. Now, I am an affiliate for this box. I've been getting this box for a long time. Then I became an affiliate, and that way you can support 2 businesses at one time, but it doesn't cost anything additional for you. So if you wanted to purchase your resupply box through my link, I would appreciate you. And thank you so much. I say this every month and I mean it to everyone that has signed up under me so far. I come back and I craft with you to hopefully inspire you for yours. And this time I'm giving you the good view, because I thought, you know what, if you guys, because you guys ask, you come back and ask when we're gonna craft and how I would do this and how I would do that from the box. So I'm gonna give you the good view, why not? What does it hurt? It doesn't hurt a thing. Then I put that back around there. And I like to squeeze that so no one gets a rude awakening, because it hurts. I mean, it'll check your blood sugar if you're not careful. You're like, yeah, I wasn't trying to do that. So let's don't do that. It hurts and it's a shocker when you poke your finger in one of these things. So we're going to take care of that. Okay. All right, so I did mine in the crease and you guys can see how it ends up, but that's because it's leaning just a little bit that way, but I'm getting ready to put everything over here and the tag was already naturally pulling it that way somewhat. Now, these are super cute, and while they are not the sunflowers, they are matchy-matchy. So I'm doing that. I'm popping the tags on these. I'm obsessed with these. I get so excited when they are in our box. I am literally obsessed. It's like 60919, but it's just the short version. You don't have to cut it. I stinking love it. All right, I do want my zip ties. I like to put that greenery in the back, all right? But shake hands with it all, you guys. Don't leave it so tightly wound together. It's traveled a long way to get to your house. A long way, friends. So you need to shake hands and make sure everybody is doing what you want them to do, okay? Needs to be a little wispy. So that'll go that way. I love that this is taking on the brown tones of fall. Super cute. The mustard yellow instead of a bright yellow is definitely a mustard. All right, and we're going to zip tie that together. Then we're going to make a sweet little bow. All right, let's make a sweet little bow before we decide where we're putting that. So, for those of you that come back for inspiration because you get the box, what I encourage you to do, even though it says Deco Exchange on this one it doesn't. And even though it says that, you don't know if you just went in and bought it or if it came in your box. So what I like to do is I will put WSB and I will put the month and the year. Because if I go back and use this, I like to know that. And you think you're going to remember it, but you're not going to. Shh. And maybe you'll remember all of it, but I can't. So I like to do that. If you want to know what came from your box, that you're definitely going to need to do that. All right. Now, I'm adding in the sunflowers from the box and this cream. And then I had a cream and brown cow in my stash. So I'm going with that. That's what we're going for. We do not need a big bow. We do not have a ton of real estate here. Okay? There is not a ton of space here. Just loading up so we can get started. We're going to start with our 2.5-inch sunflowers. I like to dovetail a ribbon this size. Even with a 5-inch tail, which feels really tiny, you're going to end up with a 10-inch wide bow. And on something like a door hanger where you don't have a ton of real estate, it really is plenty. 5-inch tail. Don't be tempted. Don't be tempted unless you just want a huge bow on here. I know it's hard not to make something larger, but you'll see how it turns out with mine and you can decide then. Then we're going to do another 5-inch tail. And I'm going to dovetail. Now, if your tails don't look quite right to you right now, or you feel like one's longer, you do not want to trim them until you get them on your project. Okay? If you haven't already, please share this video. That helps my small business grow. It also allows me to come back and continue making content with you guys. So you get to have all the perks for just sharing. I'm going to come in on this bow. 5-inch tail. This is so stinking cute. Oh my goodness. How cute is that? Super cute. Super cute. Okay. This is amazing. This is amazing. I love the way this ribbon feels. Love it. And I'm just going to pop a little bit of that cream crosshatch on the top. It came in the box. Don't need a lot. Now this size, I just like to cut it at a diagonal. That's what I prefer. 5 inches. And I'll probably only do 1. Okay. Going back out. We're going to do, we could do a zip tie because I staple these. I do not need the Chanel stem for this because I'm going to staple it to my door hanger. Now, I want that cow print on top. Love that. Folding it in half, and I'm just going to tie it over that zip tie. That is super cute. I've been wanting to make something with a cow 4 months. That's why I have this ribbon. And I haven't sat down to do it. So this has inspired me to go get my cow heads out for fall. I need to go get my cow heads. All right. We're fluffing. We're fluffing. And we're still not cutting those tails until we get this on the actual door hanger. That is half of the bow fluffed. Okay. Okay, there's our bow. She's super cute. We love her. We love her. Now, I'm not a fan of covering up your sign. So, I think of that when I place all of these things because this sign is super cute. So that could mean that we are on like so. You can see a little peekaboo of the ear and I'm liking that. I like being able to see a little bit of the ear. This is all wispy and I can trim this. And if I don't want to trim this, we can move it over here. You can move it and move this down. So we have options. So I'm going to be okay with stapling that there. Before I do though, I like to staple a couple of pieces of these. Because it also keeps that in place. And then, I don't know what we're doing here, but we're definitely stapling. That one's in place. That's the anchor. So now we have decisions to make, right? How do we want it to go from here? This is all super cute. This can be stapled. This can be stapled. And then we just gotta work our way through this, okay? Tail there. And I will fluff this again before it goes out the door. So I'm just kind of doing an initial fluff. But I need to know what to do here. So we definitely have to trim this, and that's why you wait. And for me, I'm not going to send it out to where it can be on top of that. Tomorrow it could rain, follow the sunshine. So I probably will staple it down. So they'll get a peekaboo of it, but it's not, and it's still covering, so I'm just trimming. Because I cannot stand that. Now they can read their entire sign. Okay? Now, I don't know if you can see it because this is kind of hanging over, but it's not covering it. They can read their entire sign. I'm going to pull some of these through though. That's another thing I love about this is that it can pop through. And I love that. You have these smaller pieces that can kind of come up and out of your project. I like that. I'm loving it. All right, so I'm gonna do the weight test and it's perfect. Once you do a few of these, you'll know how to balance your weight a little bit better, and you can kind of tell. Sometimes I get it a little bit off and I'm not exactly right, but most of the time you're going to be able to tell. So if you're going to design like me and you're going to use 2 of these, a good lantern bow, and your ear tag is already hanging, you're going to want the hanger to actually go in this curve. Here's the ear, here's the ear tag, ear, you come back around, and here's the hanger. She's cute. I'm gonna go get her in the shop. Thanks for hanging out with me for our first July project. Super cute. I could not wait to get my hands on it. I hope we get more cow things. If you are not already following Mackenzie Cole, you need to be, so make sure you go up and follow. Make sure you share this video, and when and if you are ready for the resupply box, there are 4 different boxes. So when you click on my link, you're going to have an option of 4 different boxes. There's one for every business budget. I started out at the basic box. It was an amazing box, and now I'm at the max box, and they're amazing everywhere in between. So just know that and see which one you feel like is best for your business budget right now. And I would appreciate if you signed up through Mackenzie Cole. It lets them know that you saw it here, right? All right, friends, have so much fun with your cow door hangers. This is my favorite thing in the box. This is my favorite thing. The ribbons, the cow, the flowers, like this is probably my favorite. It is. It is for sure. Love this. All right, go make your cows. Go make your cows. See you later, friends.